What's up? This is the Objective Jerk, where I share my daily activities and my internal mental thoughts and ambitions. And no, that was horrible. Anyway, I'm Sub Jerk. That was just off the cuff, like pretty much every podcast I do. One of these days, though, I'll come up with something, and then when it hits right, I'll write it down. That's what I'll do. Anyway, what's up? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. Hopefully, people. Oh man, I don't know. Well, it was Good Friday, right? Yesterday, went to mass. It was hot as balls. And it's really long. The Good Friday mass. It's not like a normal mass. And then they do like a procession around where you walk around, hold candles. It's kind of weird because it's like people will sit on the side and they'll watch, and then people walk, and it's just the normal people. It's like if you want to walk it, you can, but then people sit on the side. It's like it just seems weird to me. It's like what are you watching? You know what I mean? It's like why don't you just get in and walk? What I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's funny, but yeah, it's the third time that I've done it actually since I've been here. First time. So this just within the last year or something, not even. I've been pretty good about going to mass, going to the, Ash Wednesday and all the different important parts. I mean, they're all important. Thinking my cat's in here because something like fell. But then I really don't like going. I mean, I like going to mass, but I like going when I go, which is on Monday in the morning. And there's hardly anybody there. So I like it better than going on Sunday when it's just full on. But you'll notice I'm not drinking coffee. Did I give up coffee for Lent? No, I didn't. Well, you see me drink coffee before. I'm actually just trying to figure out the phlegm problem. Because I listen to my podcasts, not all of them, but some of them. And I hear myself as I'm talking, I don't think I'm that audible when I'm trying to kind of keep whatever. I don't want to get too gross, but then when I listen back to it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, I'm just constantly like, I'm making all these noises, And so I was like, I don't know. So I'm like, I got to figure it out. So I made sure. Well, I heard somebody said like maybe try not drinking coffee. I don't think that's it, but maybe. So I was like, okay. So I made sure to clean out, and it's been like dusty here. So I've been sneezing like crazy. Like 2 days ago, my sinuses were just done, and I was just like nonstop sneezing. But yeah, so I cleared out my stuff. It's been a little bit since I drank coffee, and I got these little lozenges. So hopefully, so far, man, I can't talk to them. So I need my coffee so I can think. Not really, but yeah, so far so good. Yeah, see how that goes. Let's see. So had Good Friday. Let's see. I'm trying to talk a little bit about what I'm going on before I talk about whatever else. Now my bike. So I basically have a brand new bike. I think I said that before, but for sure now, my whole bike is basically everything is brand new except for the handlebars and the fork, the front suspension. Everything else is like brand new. And my fork and my handlebars are like 2 years old, something like that. Maybe 3 even. Has it been that long? I don't know, but yeah, so I wasn't planning on going all out like that, spending that much money, but I'm happy with it though. It made a huge difference. Um, like I said, first I put a new drivetrain on my old Specialized bike, which was a large frame, but the geometry for those older bikes are not the same. They're a lot shorter. It's more boxy, I guess, and then now they're a little more aerodynamic. They're longer. Um, so, and what's funny is though this frame is a medium, and I couldn't really find like at my local store they didn't have any large because they probably don't ever sell large frames at least very often because most Filipinos are not very tall. There are tall ones, so there's plenty of them that are a lot taller than I am, but they probably just don't sell them very often. So which I understood, and I briefly was like, man, I don't know, should I not? But the frame, had like some scratches on it, and it was on sale, so I was like, for the price, how can I not, right? So, but immediately, just with the geometry of the frame, going uphill was so much easier. Climbing and even downhill, just like it was a little smoother. But I kept pedal striking, so I went riding on some other trails that are a little more not aggressive, maybe, I guess, but more just single track, what's the word I'm looking for? You really have to kind of, they're complicated, it's not just a little smooth. You gotta look at your trail and find the right path, and there's a word for it, and I can't think of it right now. It's a little more complicated, but it's not. You don't ride like these trails are not. They're not fast. It's not riding fast and trying to. Some parts are, but a lot of it's just kind of slower, intricate kind of riding and doing whatever. But anyway, so with that the frame that I bought, even though it was a medium, it was set for 29-inch wheels, and I was riding 27 and a half. And I kept getting pedal strikes like crazy as I'm riding. It was just like, like just nonstop. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, I got to get bigger. I got to get 29s on. Or I just can't ride because I'm going to end up damaging my pedal or getting hurt, wrecking something. I don't know. So I made the decision. I'm going to get some bigger tires, right? So I really like the rims and the tires on my 27 and a half, my older bike, which I had got here, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. And I sent to my local shop. I'm like, hey, I took pictures of it. It's like, do you guys have these but in 29? And they're like, hold on. And a couple days would go by, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, we're looking. I'm like, well, crap, maybe if you gotta look. And so then I looked on like Facebook Marketplace or whatever, this and that, and wasn't really finding them. And then I looked on Amazon, and it was like $100 per, which is what I basically paid for what I have now. But anyway, I was like, man, I'm spending $100 on it per frame. It's crazy, right? Which is kind of what I almost did. I'm not sure. Yeah, pretty much close to. Anyway, so I talked to my bike shop, and I'm like, they're like, hey, we have these frames. They're really good for enduro, and trail riding and everything. And then I sent it to my bike buddy. I'm like, hey, are these good? He's like, yeah, those would be good for what, So I'm like, cool. So I told him, I was like, I will buy those and the most aggressive tire they got, and so I go to the store and get the frames. I pick out the tires. They give me the fork, the spokes. And then I buy another water bottle because one I bought before sucked. And it came out to like $300 something, something like that. Actually, I think more. No, not, but close. No, yeah, like 300 and something. Not four, not quite four, but close, you know? And I was like, oh man. So my wife wasn't too happy because I was thinking it was going to be, I told her like 5 to 10. That's what I was thinking. So anyway, so I got the, the wheels on and I went riding, um, today and I went riding on Thursday. And on both days, so, um, yeah, I went riding Thursday and I had problems with my chain coming off, you know, coming off like the rear cassette. And I was like, okay, whatever. Put it back on and rode. And like coming down, hill, it's like you're bouncing and this and that, and the chain's coming off. And my uncle, my riding buddy, he was like, "Did you lock your, derailleur?" And I was like, "Oh crap, that's right. I completely forgot about the little. You can lock it so it doesn't move as easy, so it doesn't move. But when you're going downhill, you can lock it so it's not bouncing." And so I was like, okay, well, I'll do that next time for sure. Thinking that was it. But then I made sure it was locked today and the same thing happened. I'm coming down. It only happened right at the end, like the last end part that's like steeper and it's really rocky and aggressive. So you're like, go, 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 and then I coasted all the way to my truck after that. And then once I got to the truck, I just stopped and I go down and I look and the chain is off again. It came off the rear cassette and I'm just like, what the crap, man? Because I had it locked. So what happened? Why is it coming off? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe the chain is just one link too long, maybe? Because the guy put the chain on. Maybe it needs to have a link taken from it because it's just too loose, But then I get home and I kind of look at it and I move the chain. I'm like, gosh, it seems like it's good. What the crap? I don't know. So I got to figure that out. I mean, I don't understand because I rode my bike a few times with my 27, more than a few, and I had no problems. And then I put these wheels on, and then all of a sudden it's giving me problems. So I was like, why? How would that factor in to my chain coming off? To me, it doesn't seem like it should. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I have too much air in my tires. So if they're bouncing too hard, maybe I need to take out a little bit of air. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just like it's not a bad problem to have, I guess, but still it's like I don't want to have to mess with my bike for a while. I feel like I've been having to deal with bike issues for forever now. It's just kind of starting to get old. When I first got out here, and I've told my bike riding story, so I'm not going to do it again, but this is the most riding I've done, like, for the longest amount of time. Like, I would go through periods where I would ride, but then I wouldn't ride for, a year or more because we'd move or just whatever. And so coming here, I had no excuse to not ride. So when I first started riding my bike, the Specialized had, the 3 gears in the front and the 6 in the back or 8 or whatever. And it had the cable brakes. It had a spring fork. So all that stuff added weight. But I was riding it and I never had to mess with nothing. I just cleaned it and that was it. Never nothing. It was like, it was wonderful. It was awesome. It was like, an appliance from the 40s or something. But then as soon as I started upgrading and putting a different derailleur and a bigger cassette and just all this stuff, I just started having problems. I mean, yeah, some of the stuff was kind of like on the cheaper end. And I mean, I had a derailleur that ripped in half. It ripped off almost from me because it was a cheaper derailleur. I think I've told it before, but I didn't really know, I would tell the bike guy, not the one that I go to now, but I'd be like, hey, I need something that's, for aggressive trail riding. A lot of people have mountain bikes, but they just kind of ride on the side of the road and stuff.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. But I don't like riding on the road. I just ride trail, and I like to ride, aggressive. Plus, I'm a big dude. I weigh a lot, and it's a lot of weight, putting on, every time the crank and pulling on the chain and everything. So I was riding. This was at the end of when I was riding like crazy. I rode like every other day for almost a year. And it was after my dad died, so it kind of helped me, I think. But I was riding, and the derailleur just like ripped off. I'm just like, what? How does this happen? But it was probably a cheap one. I mean, it had to have been. I don't remember what the brand was, but I just kept telling him I don't want something. I was trying not to go crazy with the spending, but you get what you pay for, So finally, it's like we've had other stuff. Have a little bit of money now. I can spend some money, but I still didn't want to go crazy. I didn't want to go and buy brand new full suspension, whatever, this and that. I like hardtail, so I'm sticking with it. But yeah, I wasn't planning on just totally buying everything. And I was worried too. I was like, I remember my front suspension, my fork, when I bought it a couple years ago. I remember that it was good for 27 or 29. So, but it's been some time since, I bought it. So when I was getting my 29, I was like, man, I hope they don't come back and say it's not going to fit. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to have to buy a fork. But it fit, so it's good. But, yeah, I just got to figure out the chain. So I got to do some research on that. Find out exactly what that problem could be. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with me. I'm trying to distract myself, with that. And I actually found a TV show that I've been watching, which is, the show's like 10 years old when it came out. And I remember the show, Elementary. So it's like a contemporary take on, Sherlock Holmes and stuff. And it's got what's-her-face from Charlie's Angels in it. What's her name? Lucy Liu, right? Lucy Liu. Yeah, Lucy Liu. So she's it. So it's pretty good. I don't know. I'm liking it. I'm watching it. I think what's-his-face does a good Sherlock, and so I've just been, either mountain biking, working on that, doing stuff around. I mean, going to church or whatever, and then when I'm chilling, I watch that show. So I'm still kind of keeping up on current events, but I'm just kind of so tired of how retarded American people have become. Not really so much, because majority voted for Trump. So it's a select few, and it's the media and just the propaganda machine, and the kid stabbing the other kid. And it's like self-defense, and they're making all kinds of money, and it's just like, what is going on? All this kid's gonna go to court. I mean, I guess it's probably gonna be a year from now, huh? by the time anything really happens. But I just have a feeling, I was thinking like, oh, this summer's going to be nuts again, just like the summer of love when BLM was burning everything down. But it's, you know what's probably going to happen is now it's like you're going to get a bunch of black folks killing white people, claiming self-defense. Some of it's going to be like, come on, dude. I mean, this one is, come on, dude. Like, how is this? I don't. I don't want to get into it. I really don't. I'm just kind of tired of race. It's like there isn't. I don't know. They're just trying to. It's just so freaking annoying. You know, I'm like to the point of just I care, but I'm not gonna just be involved in it anymore. I don't know if my podcast is gonna suffer. I mean, I don't know. I talk about whatever, right? I mean, a lot of politics in it, but I don't know. You see, oh, there's just so much crap out there, and it's so blatantly retarded. Like, how'd this kid get his bail, you know, set lower? Which, I mean, he's a teenager. Okay, well, still, he stabbed the dude in the chest. And it wasn't like it was this ongoing battle, this and that, and the other guy had a knife or something like that. You know, and it's like, supposedly there's video and that, but they're not putting anything out. So you're like, okay, so obviously it doesn't help this dude. And then just all the race gaslighting crap. It's just like, it's so annoying. It is so, it's just all a big scam. But anyway, I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of violence this summer because of that. You're going to see more of the same crap. And then when this kid goes to court and he gets found guilty, because there's no way he can't not be found guilty, then there's going to be riots and all this kind of crap again. And it's crap like this that I'm glad I don't live in the States anymore. Because it's just retarded. It's, I don't know. I mean, you know, look at this. Look what it's doing. The precedents. Am I saying that right? That it's setting. So you got a bunch of people that are like, dude, this guy, and everybody knows it. The guy just straight up stabbed him in the chest. He is dead. Died within a half hour or something, right? Goes to jail. Gets his. They start a GoFundMe and they just start raising all kinds of money. Pay for his bail. Buy a house. Buy a escalator or something. I don't know. What do you think? Dude, people are going to start killing white people. I mean, it's not funny, but it, you know, it's, and they're going to be like, oh, self-defense. It was self-defense. Watch. Oh, man, it's going to be retarded. It's just retarded. You know, and things were going great as far as race relations go. Yes, there were racist black people and racist white people, racist Hispanic and Chinese. Dude, Korean people hate Filipinos. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody's racist to an extent. But it's nothing like what it's not 1960s or 50s or 40s. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just tired of, oh, living life like a black man and being afraid and all this kind of shit. It's like, shut up, you Martin Luther wannabe. It's like, shut up, fucking guy. You got like criminals trying to, I don't know, it's just insane. It's all these, and it's all a grift, just like BLM. BLM was a huge scam. Now this is the next one. Here's the new one. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know actually. I mean things are going good from Trump's side, I mean, they're still trying to argue the whole illegal immigrant thing. Like, what? Shut up. What are you talking about? They're illegal. Get out of here. Sorry. I don't know. Just crazy. But yeah, that I don't know. I don't know what to say about it because I haven't really been watching too. I've been trying to avoid it actually. I do catch a few things here and there, but yeah, for the most part, it's just But I watch the show because the elementary show because it distracts me, and that's all. When you think about it, I never cared much for what was going on in the news that much when I was so into movies, but like film, sports, music, and TV shows, and it is all a distraction. It's all for us taxpayers that make money or work and pay taxes so the government can abuse those taxes. And we don't pay attention or we don't care because we're distracted. We're watching, I got to catch my, Monday night show, or I got to do this, or this movie's out, or this kind of whatever. All these like stupid distractions. And it's true. I mean, it's not like, I'm not saying that all shows and movies were created by, the deep state to keep you distracted. But they perpetuate it, and then it's like plus two, it's funny because like, so this show that I'm watching, Elementary, like I'll catch a few things where they're talking about left wing, right wing, and I've realized that when I've watched older shows and movies that where I didn't really pay much attention to it, but it did influence me because I've talked about how I felt the same way. I thought the same way. Right wing were evil. People who believe in God are stupid. People who, would just can't let. I fell for all that stuff too. I just wasn't, dyeing my hair and whatever. Well, okay, I did dye my hair, I guess, in high school, but not dyeing it like blue. Or, I wasn't going crazy with maybe, who knows, man? What if I would have went to college? If I would have went to like Washington University, what could have happened to me? Man, maybe not something. That was in the 90s, so maybe not. Well, a little bit. Who knows? But it just kind of makes you wonder, man. Because I see it now when I watch older movies and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like all that stuff. And they just, in like the show that I'm watching, they just kind of these little things. And I'm like, I almost am like, you know what? Am I going to turn this off? But I don't, because the show's pretty good overall. And it doesn't really get too much into, political stuff, but it gets close. I'm kind of worried, though, towards the end, because I think there's like 7 seasons or something. And I'm on season 4, I think. So, yeah, maybe by the end of it, there's going to be a bunch of stupid retardedness. I mean, it has like a female Watson, so I was like, oh. But I mean, it works. When they, when they do stuff, when they change it, because I think it works better for the story for the show, really, I'm not saying a female Watson should always be the standard, but for what the purpose of this show is trying to do, it works. But it was, now they do it just because, how can we put a female in there and make her stronger? And I don't know, but whatever. Just like Fantastic Four bullshit. I don't know. I was never into Fantastic. I didn't mind the movies back in the early 2000s. I mean, they weren't the greatest, but they were entertaining, I guess. But yeah, that's all turned into shit too. Anyway, oh crap, man, I've been talking forever. All right, well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time. God bless, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.